Sí.
Tell us
Sí.
about pupusas.
Pupusas are the perfect
No,
hand food.
I grew up in El Salvador. And
Hello, welcome everybody to week 6 of Locavore Lessons and Love, celebrating 10 years of CFM. Today we are at the Met in South Atlanta, and we are interviewing Ken and Jeannette Katz from Buenos Días Cafe. We're gonna talk pupusas and Salvadorian food, and I'm really excited to introduce you to them. They're an awesome couple that started with Buenos Días Cafe, and now here we are at La Bodega. So let's meet them.
You get on my good side.
Yeah.
So, we had decided after the 2008 economic turndown, we were no longer going to work for other people. It was time to start our own business, because the business I had worked for was based out of Los Angeles and was on a completely different economic schedule than we were, and unfortunately we had to put a lot of people out of work, and we decided that we didn't want to be in that kind of environment anymore. It was time to take control on our own. So we found a spot that we were going to look into opening in our neighborhood, and we went downtown to meet with the SBA, and while we were there, the same building was where Buenos Días Cafe ended up being. It was available for rent. And so we said, well, instead of opening the neighborhood, let's add healthy food to the downtown community, the school community, because there was such an emptiness down there. The people would Google us on the hotels, or they would find it. It would be interesting to see what was it that they Googled, and it would be everything from breakfast to pupusa to vegetarian to healthy to coffee, because there's just, downtown's got such a weird dynamic of who's there and who's not.
Yeah.
And so
it's
you could find us under so many different things, but you would if you weren't looking, you would never find us, because you're not downtown. I mean, we were so Georgia State centric. The downtown the Central Atlanta Progress put up that $10 billion has been lost downtown already. The numbers are staggering. And the crazy part is, we were told it was going to be 25% occupancy and all that, and while that's true of the classes that are taking place, most classes aren't taking place. So it's 25% of labs, right? Georgia State's done such a good job of continuing to educate while letting kids stay home, right? So you can't really be mad. Like, some of the people downtown are very angry and frustrated, and I think it's probably the wrong attitude to be taking, because if we don't, they're being so aggressive that hopefully in January or in June it'll be better,
Right.
versus other schools that are just pretending it's not there. And
7 days a week.
it's crazy, because downtown we were Monday to Friday,
Yeah.
strict, and it wasn't even by like we need the days off. It was just there was just no reason to be downtown.
Downtown
Right.
is dead on the weekends.
So, and we were here one Saturday doing some work, and people kept coming up and asking. And reason we came here in the first place was because there was no food in this neighborhood, right? So the idea that we weren't open on the weekends when we knew there would be more people around was dumb, and we're like, we got to get staffed up to do 7 days a week quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole idea. It's like when you do something that you really like, you don't feel that it's work.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
And also remember this, like, whoever is in this business is because we are people.
Yeah.
When we having a hard time actually now that we cannot be talking to the customers, because kind of like, okay, here's your food, but you cannot actually go then and say, how was your food,
Yeah.
because most of the dishes that we have, we create them because of them. We had the breakfast pupusa, which it came out because one of the students, when I was walking the floor, he was doing his homework and he was not eating. I said, mijo, eat, it's gonna get cold. And he's like, he had a plate, a breakfast plate. You can put all that in a pupusa, it will be much easier because I can eat it while I'm doing.
Nice.
So I went inside and I did the eggs and the bacon and the cheese, and we made the breakfast pupusa. So that's what we missing the most.
Yeah.
I like the change. Like, I like that now we're getting the greens. Yesterday there was these giant bok choys. They were so big. I don't think there's any one fruit or vegetable we say this is what we want that we can't get anywhere else. It's just that when something new has come, it's as fresh and as indicative of the change of season as anything.
Yeah.
So that's the part I like.
The market definitely has that feeling of community. I grew up in mercados. I grew up selling and eating what everybody else was, making and doing. So you go to a mercado with a full, baskets of merchandise, and you go back home again with all the stuff that you need in the house. Yes, it was money transaction, but at the same time, it's like more like a trading. You bring goods to the market to sell, and then you bring home the goods that you need for your house. So it's interesting. He gets pupusas, and we give pupusas, to the other vendors, and they give us
Mustard
vegetables
greens,
and stuff. So it has that feeling that I miss. I miss that feeling of, knowing that what we eating actually was grown and, farmed close by, because for us there was no such a thing growing up back home that it was something coming from other country.
Right.
Everything was farmed in there.
Yeah.
So that feeling is really good.
The community connection at the market has actually been different than what we thought when we started. We thought it would be a lot of people who missed us. Like, originally we signed up to be at the Grand Park Market, and we thought because it's so close to downtown, people would be seeing us and just getting a chance to eat stuff on Sunday that they don't get during the week. But besides the people who have recognized us at all the markets, it's also people who we now see week after week and are placing orders in advance, and we never anticipated any of that happening. We never anticipated making frozen pupusas, period. We thought we would just make fresh ones. But when the online market happened, that was so popular that it's a demand that we continue to bring forward. And now people are calling and ordering them so that we can bring them, or they're telling us that they'll be back next week to bring certain things. So it's great that so many people attend the markets regularly, because clearly it's a resource for them as well as for the businesses that are there. Pupusas are the perfect food.
I grew up in El Salvador, and it's the traditional street food. You can find, like in New York, that you find pizza places everywhere. That's in El Salvador.
But
You
with
find pupuserias everywhere. Pupusas are pretty much all Central American. Definitely we have taken to these hours, of course. It's our invention, it's our tradition. But then it become and it start, being a little bit different. People start calling it a different way. Like in Mexico, you call it gorditas. So this stuff in this still, and there is another version in Colombia and also in Venezuela called arepas. Pupusa is unique because in a way it's like a little bit like a calzone, right? Everything is inside. Everything is inside. And how you can make something that at first is round, you stuff it and then you flatten it back, and if it's not, you have well moisturized your hands, the masa have to be in the right, cannot be too wet, cannot be too dry, and also your hands have a lot to do. We find out that our chef cannot actually prepare the masa because he dry it too quick. His hands are too hot, and my hands are also hot. So I need to have the water that I use have to have a little cube of ice, so it cool off my hands. If it's not, the masa dries very quick, and that's when you cook in it, it actually kind of breaks. The most traditional fillings are cheese and loroco, which is a flour that is like a delicacy in El Salvador. And either you love it or you hate it. It has a very strong smell, and some people just don't like it. And the chicharrón, which is a skinned pork, 100% fat.
That's why it's so good.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Let's eat some pupusas then now.
Yeah.
Let's.
And Maria, you have salsa.
Sí.
Very-
Primero tenemos. Oh, jeez.
All right, English this time. So we're making, so we're making salsa, Jeannette, right?
See, it's very easy. It's not, all the stuff is already made. I always say, the universe already give us. I just put it in the blender. That's all.
Perfect.
So we have Roman tomatoes, 10 Roman tomatoes, 1 onion cut in 4. Try to leave the hard skin in there so you don't burn the actual onion, and then you peel it out when you want to blend it. We have 7 cloves and 1 jalapeno.
Jalapeno, and we're throwing this in the oven?
Yes, we
Okay.
have this one for 15 minutes until you see that the skin actually is coming out.
What temperature should we set the
350.
oven? 350. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Ta-da!
So you see, once you see that the skin is coming out, so what we're going to do is we're going to peel it.
So no skin in the
No
salsa.
skin.
Okay.
No skin. We peel them and we go to the blender. We put pretty much the cloves in the bottom. I like to do that.
Okay.
We take this one, the one that we told you that not to put it back in, because if it's not gonna blend. It's not gonna definitely. It tastes like a piece of plastic. Once the onion is cooked, it's like a piece of plastic wandering in there. You know how hot the jalapenos are by the skin when they are already like super. Don't do this at home without gloves, please. And if that happens, just grab a little bit of vinegar and baking soda, and you
Okay.
wash your hands with that, and that will be it.
It seems like everything is mixed with vinegar and baking soda.
Yes. Then you put a little bit of salt.
Okay, so we have 1 teaspoon of salt.
Yeah. Do
All
not
right.
put water.
No water. Okay,
No water.
got
No
it.
water. Then you just blend it. There's nothing special about this. The only special that it is local, that you can buy it in your farmer's market. You can buy all the produce in there. That's the secret, pretty much.
All right. So
That's
the secret is out.
the secret stuff.
Buy your groceries at the farmer's market. Voila!
And that's it.
That was amazing.
So you can see when that is not. That's the reason why we take off the skin. So
So it's uniform.
yes.
Mmm. Yum. I can feel the jalapeno.
Otro poquitito de sal.
Okay.
So it's all the salt is pretty much to your I try not
Your
to
liking.
use too much salt because it's not good for you.
And just salt, no pepper, no other condiments.
No.
That's very easy.
Just-
That's a 5-ingredient salsa.
Yeah, just leave it to Mother Nature because she already have done the job. Everything is the flavor. You don't have to hide anything.
Mother's knows best.
Yay!
Yummy.
And just keep
Thank
eating.
you. Salud.
Salud. Keep eating.
There you have it, folks. Jeannette and Ken from Buenos Días Cafe. Come see them at the farmers markets. Thank you so much for watching and for joining us on our 10 weeks for 10 years of CFM. Continue watching the next weeks and donate so that we can keep the farmers markets going. Thank you for watching.
Ask that question one more time. What was the question?
Oh, remember we
The
have
community
to-
would, yeah, you haven't been doing it.
I know.
I wanted to
So
correct
you-
you, but it didn't look good.
No, but
Yeah, but we're gonna call it.
Yeah, I'm just teasing.
so because you're better doing that, so you
I start the answer and then
no,
you.
you start the question.
Ah.
What we.